right, welcome everyone. Today is November 4th, 2015. This is the Pop Synergy Mentoring Call, and today we are doing a passion project on family history. Last month we talked about a book that talks about passion projects, and everyone on the group today has asked me to share my passion project, which is family history. There's been so many blessings that I've seen just in the last month. So since we talked last month, I had kind of a family history marathon, and I had extra time, and I decided to devote that time to family history. So I probably spent, not including the last week, I've probably spent, I would say maybe average 4 to 6 hours a day, which is really extreme, on family history. But my usual goal is 2 hours a week, like on Sunday. But just in the last month, in doing that extra time, I've been able to find about 150 names, which has been amazing. And the more, it's just like, the more that I do it, the easier it becomes, because I can start feeling the direction from the Spirit and getting a better guide as to what's yes, what's no, and kind of just that light that goes before you. But also on my home front, the blessing I've found from doing family history is that I've been able to overcome some of my impatience and anger that is more prevalent when you're pregnant, all the good stuff. So I think Heavenly Father's just really blessing me to lift me up, and as I give my time to family history, He's helping me to have strength in my personal life. So that's really a huge blessing, and I know that you're going to be able to find awesome blessings as you work through this. So I have 3 tips for you today, and then we'll go through kind of a hands-on interactive if someone is willing to kind of be our guinea pig. We can go through your family tree and kind of look for what we're talking about. So we'll go through our 3 tips, and then we'll do that. So my first tip for you is to find your purpose. Knowing who you are and knowing what your mission is, obviously, is the most important thing. And I really think that applies to family history just as much as it does to the rest of our lives. I've seen the way that the Lord has prepared me to be able to do what I do with family history. Having a collections background makes it so I learned to be really persistent, because I used to skip trace people, and I would try to find people that didn't want to be found, which was lots of fun. And also, having a background in accounting, I had to do a lot of analysis to try to balance this side to that side, and I found that transfer over to family history as well, that when I go through the record, for example, like if I find a census, I'm trying to match what my tree looks like to what the record is, and I make a note of any discrepancies that I find. So I have really found Heavenly Father has helped me find my purpose with family history, and all of my experience and all of my gifts and talents are specifically what is needed right now for my family in my family tree. So I truly believe that that's going to be the same for you in your family tree, because I know Heavenly Father has such a great plan for us that He knows us individually, and He's prepared you in family history as also in your life. The same applies, that your specific mission and purpose is just what is needed right now in your family. So it's an awesome plan. So, so number 1, find your purpose. And the way that I do that, first of all, on the spiritual side, you search, ponder, and pray. And that I think you already know. But as you go through the searching, pondering, pray, what I do is I open up my family tree, and I look through it, and I kind of feel with the Spirit what direction do I need to go? And usually I'm blessed with a desire. Well, I kind of want to find out, more about this area right here. So I'll go down that area of the tree, and then it'll show me. There's 3 things that I look for. Number 1 is I look for record hints, which if you open up your family tree, I don't know if you want to do it right now or do it later, but if you open up your family tree in FamilySearch.org, and then you log in, and then you click on Family Tree, it'll take you to I like the pedigree view. You can choose what view you like. There's different choices in there. But on the right top corner of every person's family file picture and name, on the top right corner, there'll be any record hints, was what they call them, and they're blue little squares is the icon. So I look for those, and it tells me that the computer is giving a hint to that person's family file to say, we think we have a source to back up the information that you have in this file that's not attached yet. And some of them I found there actually are attached, but I attach them again anyway because what it does is it creates thinking patterns for the computer to look for more sources. So Penny? Even if you have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just have a question. I'm on FamilySearch.org, and I'm trying to see what you're talking about, and I'm having
Okay, great. So you logged in. Did you click on your tree?
I did, and it's this circle-y looking thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, you're looking on, so click on, there's an arrow by tree.
Okay.
And go to landscape view. You're probably looking at the fan chart. No,
okay, I see it.
You see it?
Okay.
Okay, so in the landscape view, you'll be able to see the icons by the name.
Okay,
and just
so I see.
Open up some of the arrows on the right side. So you go back probably till the 1800s. Find someone.
So so just click on whoever and those little arrows at the end of the page.
Yep. Open up. I'm opening up my dad's. The area that I feel most inspired to work is my dad's side. So I kind of go down there, and then from my dad's side, it goes into, lots of generations. So do you see any of the blue? Kind of looks like there's a white, a blue background. Do you see any?
Yeah, it says record hints.
Record hints, yep, that's it. Yep, if you hover over it, it'll...
Find a grave.
Yep, so that specific record hint for you on that family is find a grave source. So there's several different sources that are going to pop up. Keep that open, and we'll go through that in just a minute, and then we'll walk you through how to attach that. Have you ever done that before?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Love it. That will be perfect. We'll do that. So that's the first thing I look for is those record hints. And those have led me this past month to be able to find 150 names.
Wow.
Seriously, they're seriously amazing because you're matching what's on your tree to what's on that source. And I've found most of the time where the Spirit leads me, the tree on my computer will have one name of a child on the family, but the source has 6 children. And obviously, there's missing children there. So I just check all of the dates and everything and make sure it matches up, the locations. And then once I feel it's a really solid match, I'll add the children into the family search, and it'll prompt you. It's really easy now. You used to have to type in all the information, but now you can just arrow over and click add and add person and all that stuff. So we'll go through that. The second thing I look for, and this is something the Spirit directed me to get really good at, was duplicates. So when I'm going through and I look in my family and I see that there's 2 Johns born within a year or 2 of each other in the same family as children, I question that. And I know that there are situations when the first John died, and if there's a death date of 1815, he was born in 1814, he died in 1815, and then the second John was born in 1816, I will consider that a legitimate duplicate name. But most of the time, it'll just be because there's been so many merges of the file in the past that the parents got merged here and the parents got merged there, and now there's duplicate children. So that's something the Spirit told me to get really good at, and that's my analytical side of it, where I love to look through, and the Spirit really is the one that helps me to see, okay, look at the location of the birth on here and the location of the birth on here, and you're matching up two different sides of it. We'll go through one of those also. Let me make a note, duplicate, and see if we can find how to do that a little bit easier. Maybe it'll be clearer. And then the third thing I look for, obviously, is the happy little green temple pictures. That's by the name of the icon. And that means that there's work that needs to be done that hasn't been done. I have one here on my, let's see, 4th or 5th great grandfather. And if I click on that, it says request ordinances. So that means that there's work that needs to be done. But sometimes when you click on that, it'll show you possible duplicates. So then you have to go through the individual person's file and look for the duplicates. And okay, I don't want to get distracted by looking at that. Okay, so I'll look at that later. But so it'll show you that there's duplicates on that person, and then you'll go through and you'll clean up the file. And then once that's done, if there's still a green temple sign, then you'll go, and that's what I do. That's my harvest phase. After I'm done adding the record hints, after I'm done trying to grow the tree in all of the different areas as much as I can, matching things to the files, that's the last step I do. And I'll go back to this tree, and I'll say, okay, what have I added, and who needs their work done? You'll click your request ordinances, and then it puts it in your temple file. Okay, I'm going to pause here. Am I going too fast? Is there anything confusing that you don't understand yet?
I understand. This is Jan, sorry. I understand it, but yeah, it'll be more helpful if I'm actually trying to do it. But I know what duplicates are. I understand that, and I've seen the little temple icon. So,
okay,
yes,
perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So you know what happens when it goes into your temple file?
No.
Okay.
I don't know that.
Okay. Okay. So we'll need to go through that because that's how you get the name to the temple. Okay.
You were at number 3, though. You said, wasn't there 4? I don't want to get you too far off track.
Nope. There's 3 things that I do to identify needs on the tree. Number 1 is the record hints, and number 2 is the duplicates, and number 3 is the green temple trees.
So find your purpose is the
identifying needs.
Okay. Identifying needs.
Yeah, because you're going to see with your eyes specific things that you feel directed by the Spirit. It's kind of like you have those, all-seeing glasses on, and the Spirit's going to say, hey, you need to go in this direction. And He'll bless you to know which direction to go. Okay. So as you're going through this and you're looking at your tree, there's a couple other things before we get started in the specific examples. There's a couple things that will help you to have clarity as you do this. There's going to be lots and lots of things pop up where you're like, oh, that's a great direction. Oh, that's a great direction. And if you feel prompted to go there, then go there. But I would suggest that you have a goal. Have a specific a focus where you want the tree to grow. So if you want to focus on direct ancestors, then you will add in parents and siblings, but make a note for later in the file of I need to add a spouse here, because it'll be on the record, but if you add the spouse, then you're going to see probably on a marriage record the spouse's parents, and then you'll be going down a rabbit hole. It's really fun if you want to go that direction. But if you just want to focus on direct ancestors, then just have your goal in mind of where you want to go, and then try to make notes along the way of that will help you stay focused in that direction. You'll kind of get the feel for it as you go, but it's a little bit of a challenge. As you get into it, you see there's so many possibilities, and you get excited, and you're like, wow, I found this person here, and there's their parents, and oh, and who's that? That's a sister-in-law, and oh yeah, the sister-in-law goes over here, and then you're in a rabbit hole. And sometimes it's taken me 2 days to go down into a rabbit hole where I add the parents and the spouse's parents, and then the spouse's parents, I find that they're siblings, and it's great. It's fun because that's what I'm focusing on right now. I'm focusing on the cousins. But if I would suggest looking first at your direct ancestors, if that's an empty place in your tree. And then after the direct ancestors are filled, I would say back to the 1700s, probably, the end of the 1700s, then I would focus on cousins within the 1800s, because that's where most of the record sources are found. So as far as taking notes goes, I have just a spiral notebook, a really cheap, 50-cent spiral notebook. And when I'm beginning looking at my tree and I'm writing down, okay, I want to focus on this person's name and their siblings, I just try to make some notes, because when I start getting into all of the adding sources and all of that, it tends to get me mentally swirled around. So if I have notes visually to look at, it will help me to stay grounded in what I am for sure solid about, what information I have. Sometimes I'll even write down all of the information from a census, and then as I go through and I match it with my family tree, I'll check it off, like a birth date and a death date of this person and their marriage date, and I'll do a check mark, and then I know that I have a match of the birth date with the person and an exact match of the death date, and I feel really solid that it's a good match. And then, of course, the third thing in helping to have clarity, did I say the third? So this is the third hint of what I wanted to tell you today. So the first one is identifying needs, finding your purpose. Second one is making a plan, keeping notes. And then the third thing is just constant listening of the Spirit. As you go down, and you'll find a source, let's say, and you'll see, okay, this name is the same as this name. The location matches. The date of the father matches, but the date of the mother doesn't match. It could be a match. It could not be a match. And then the source maybe has 6 kids, and where your tree only has 1 child, if that one child's birthday matches with the source that's on there, I would say it's a 90% correct match. And if ever you want some more assurance that it's a good match, sometimes I'll go on to Ancestry. Do you guys have Ancestry accounts?
I think so. This is Jan. I think I have one.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I set one up at one point, but I don't know how to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's free for a certain amount of time I'm on it. I haven't really used it.
The church has made an agreement with Ancestry as well as a couple other sites. If you haven't got the email, I can find it and forward it to you, but all you have to do is set up the site, do your password and stuff with that site, and then when you're in family history, on the right side, it'll show up as searching. Do you want to search in Family Search? Do you want to search in Ancestry? Do you want to search in what other sources are there? It'll show up on the right side. So once you have that account set up, it'll already be in there. So we can go through and look for a record in that. Let me see. So first we're going to do record hints, and then we'll look at a duplicate, and then we'll search. Okay. All right. Those are my hints for you. Let's do some hands-on walking through. So, Jan, you said you had a record hint.
Yes.
And I'm going to see if I can pull it up on my tree so I can see what you're seeing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Do you see the number that's by their name? It's usually letters and numbers. There's a 4 and a 3, a set of 7 numbers and letters.
Yes.
S as in Sam?
F as in Frank.
Oh, F. X, F, Q.
Yes.
Let me see if that'll pull up for me. If you have live people in your tree, I'm not going to be able to see them. Okay, let's see if I listed. It says Marianne Martineau.
Martineau, yes.
Okay, Martineau. Okay, perfect. I can see her file. I'm in her individual thing, and I see her record hint. Okay, so it looks, the first thing I do when I'm looking at a file, I'm seeing what information we have and what we're missing. So you have birth, you have her death. I can't see the spouse, but you probably have it in your side.
Yeah, he's living, so.
Okay, perfect. And then I don't see any sources attached. So, whereas it was so recently, I'm surprised there are any record hints. But go ahead and click on that record hint where it says Marianne Watkins.
Okay.
And then it shows, the first thing I do when that pops up, we're seeing the information in the source. It'll give you the synopsis details. It shows the birth date. I look over at the birth date. Yep, there's a match. I see the death date. Yep, there's a match there. So then you click on the review and attach down at the bottom.
Okay.
And then it'll pull up the document that will allow you to attach it.
Okay, so it says attach historical records to family tree. And then it asks,
What's that?
It asks for a reason to attach the source.
Okay, hold on just a minute. Is there any of the information on the left side that isn't on the right side? Because sometimes at this point you'll need to pull over and it'll give you an add option. Not all the time with like find a grave, but is there any information that's not on there?
It says that's not on the left, but it's on the right. Is that what you said?
Right, on the left is your source, on the right is your tree.
Okay, on the right there's more information.
Perfect. Is there any information that is on the left that is not on the right?
Burial. Oh, okay, I see. And there's a little thing that says add. It says the burial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So add that.
Mm-hmm.
And then reason to attach source.
That I put for my, basically my scientific data. What's the clinical background, like explanation? If I'm a scientist and I'm explaining this in logical terms, why am I attaching this source? I would say exact match on birth and death date, new burial location. That's what I would say. And then one more thing before you hit attach. I always, on Find a Grave, I always go to the website and view the record on their website with Find a Grave, because sometimes Find a Grave will attach spouses or children or whatever else, usually if it's an older record. So on the top left of your source page, it has image. See the image link when you're done typing that?
Then it says visit partner site.
Yes, click on visit partner site.
Okay.
And that'll actually pull up the Find a Grave source, and you can see pictures. It shows a picture of her temporary headstone and a picture of the cemetery.
Okay. Yep, I see that.
So, see where the the links are for children? Sometimes right there, it'll list other people. And that's one of the clues that I use to add to the tree.
Oh, okay.
So,
and there is
so
one
just
that,
watch. Just watch for that.
Okay. They have my sister on there. Okay.
Okay. Yep. So that is added. And now if you refresh your page for your mom's the file, individual file page, then you'll see her, and I just lost it. I closed my box on accident. But I can get back to it by clicking View People. Okay.
Oh, I see on the site. Okay, I might be looking in a different place than you because I just went to the top where it said person. Pulled her up there. It said data problems, missing standardized marriage place.
Okay, perfect. So you'll go into, and sometimes it won't recognize that you've changed it, so let's just try to change it. Go in, standardized marriage place, but, oh yeah, because you can see her husband. Okay, so go down where you see the husband and the wife in the same box.
It's saying that it's on my grandparents, though.
Okay. All right, so we can fix that too.
Okay. Show details.
Is everything done on your mother's page that you wanted to do? You did the record hints on there?
I have no idea.
Okay.
What do I find? It took me to another thing. This is the rabbit hole you're talking about, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. Because sometimes, just like in a Sunday school discussion, sometimes finding that thing that sounds like a distraction is really the Spirit leading you into an area where you hadn't planned on going, but it's where you need to go.
Okay.
So I got to pull up the page again. Person.
I think they've been sealed, though, right? And that's kind of the whole point, is making sure that everybody's sealed. Yeah?
Everybody's filled?
That everybody's sealed together.
Oh, right.
Their work's
the point
done.
is, yes, exactly. That's the most important thing. But there are situations where there's duplicates in the system, and let's say the family history has added a parent or a person because they have a marriage record. They'll add the husband and wife, and usually they don't add the parents if they're on the record of if the spouse's parents, the husband's parents are listed on the record, they won't add them. So, and if you are looking through the children and you find a death record that leads to the parents, and so you've added the parents, we have 2 different parents in there. And then when you go, hopefully, to do the ordinances, it'll say possible duplicates in the system. It's just always a routine thing that I go through is to look for duplicates, because it costs $100 per person for those ordinances to be done against. Yeah, it's a lot of time, and so if we are adding in 100 people and maybe 50 of them are duplicates, then we're duplicating unnecessary work. So I always go through the process of looking for duplicates.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's down on the right side, on the right bar of the individual file.
Okay. Does anybody else? I don't want to take up all the time. I'm sure there's other people.
Okay, you're good. Is there anybody else that wants to look at your tree?
I do.
Okay. Tell me you're in Family Search?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're in your tree view, your landscape tree view.
Uh-huh.
Can you see anyone that has record hints?
Well, actually, I was adding one already. I found one, but
Good.
that one's already taken care of, so we can't do that one now.
Okay, perfect.
Let me see if I can find another one. I was like, oh, okay. So, found one.
Okay.
And just
Tell
the
me
blue thing, you click the blue.
Yep. William James.
5. Yep.
Okay, beautiful. And what are you seeing that you want to do with him?
Oh, let's see. Well, I don't know. I have, it says census in 1940, census in 1920, find a grave, census in 1920, and census in 1900.
Okay, perfect. There's 3 record hints. We see that you have a birth date, you have a death date. Just look right here on the birth date location. It's not in standardized form. The computer's not telling you that, but it might throw up a red arrow later. It's not a really big deal. Let's focus on other things first, but if you should happen to change the location or whatever, you could get it into standardized form.
Because it doesn't have the county, is that what you're talking about, for the birthday?
Yeah, but the United States is always on the end in standardized form.
Oh, okay.
Yep, when it pulls it up in the box. I'm looking down. He has 7 siblings. Parents are there, and no sources attached. So this is great. Okay, so go ahead and go into your first one. You can choose to go in chronological order backwards or chronological order forward, whichever record hint you want to do. Which one do you want to do first?
1940.
Okay, 1940. William Carrick. I'm just going to go in there so I can view it, but I won't hit any buttons that do anything. Okay, so you're going to look in there. You see that he's a 40-year-old male. He's married. Birthplace, Washington, that matches. Estimated birth year, 1900, that matches.
And all the kids in that life.
And all the kids match. Okay, perfect. So go ahead and hit review and attach.
Ta-da! That's like, they recently did that within the last, couple months, huh? After the merge or whatever.
These record hints?
Yeah. It was once I signed up for Ancestry or whatever. I don't know where the hints are coming from. I think they're Ancestry hints, actually.
They might be, but they're different. I've found things in Ancestry that I can't find in Family Search.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the spelling of the name is different, I'll have to put it in the way that I find it in Ancestry, and then it'll pop up in Family Search. So it's sometimes a little tricky. Okay, mine is still pulling up. Do you have any information on the left side that is not on the right side, or any discrepancy?
It does show his residence was Mount Vernon, Skagit.
Okay. Yeah, that.
It also shows a residence in Charleston, Ossotin. So, okay, right.
So you added the 2 residence locations.
Attach the source.
Yep, attach it. In the reason, you could put proves, this is what I would put, proves wife and 7 children. Or 6, it has 6 on the record.
I just put date within a year and spouse and children.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. So the reason, what I do to decide what to put down is, I don't know if you guys ever saw that old movie, but there was this guy that he lost his memory every night when he went to sleep. And when he woke up in the morning, he would have to rebuild his whole life. So he left himself a tape recorder every single night of his life history, and then he would review that in the morning. So I kind of imagine that I don't have a memory, and when I go into the record, I want to be able to go back and see what I was thinking at the time. So that's kind of how I choose what I put in those boxes. The children, I'm not sure why it's coming up this way for me. Do you see that the children are already on the...
They're on the left and on the right. Yeah.
They are for you. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's weird. They're not recognizing as the same person because they're not typed in the exact same way.
Okay.
Like William and Billy and Hank. Henry G is Henry Hank Grant or whatever.
So hover over the name on the left side. You can move it to the person that you know it belongs to.
Oh, you can?
Yes. Hover your hand. There, your arrow turns into a hand, and you can go up or down.
Oh,
and
that's
drag and drop it to the right person.
Okay.
And then after that's in the right spot, then you'll attach it to their record. And if you don't attach it to everybody in the family at this point, it'll pop up later as a record hint. So I just attach it to everybody.
So when I lined them up, they all kind of attached themselves. I didn't have to click attach, right?
No, they won't attach themselves. If it still says attach in the middle,
it doesn't
attach it. You have to go through that process that you did with the first one with each one of them below.
So I should attach his wife. Oh, because the wife has his last name or whatever, and you just attach it.
Yeah, because she'll have her maiden name in the family file, but her married name on the source.
That's fine.
So are most of these people living? Is that what I can't see?
Well, the husband's living, the wife's not. And then I didn't know that they had that many kids. Like, I'm confused, actually. Let's see. Okay.
You were...
Wait. No, because, oh, yeah, they're not. No, the parents are not living. One of the sons is living. And I don't know, actually. I guess, oh, yeah, mine also read that. Every single one of them shows living.
Okay.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if they're alive or dead.
On my side of the tree, I see that this couple has 0 children. But on your side of the tree, you're seeing that they actually are in the system. They're in the tree.
Yeah. Well, it has you know how in the center it said it says I can't attach the sources because they're living people. That's what it's telling me.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't want that's too much information for
right
or whatever.
But at least you have it attached to the parents.
Yeah.
So that'll be fine. You can always go back later and look at that if you need to. Okay, so that one's done, and then there's your next. When you're done with that, I don't know if you're done with that.
So how do you? I went back to Family Tree, but there's probably a faster way to get back there.
On the top left of the record, it has the person's name. I usually click on that.
Let's go back.
But it's okay. You can refresh the page also, and it won't show that record hint anymore. Yeah, you'll just go through, and now I'm seeing actually, this is interesting. There's 2 different record hints for William J. Carrick in 1920.
Yeah, I saw that too, so I thought that was weird.
He can only be in one per place at one time, so one of those is going to be wrong. So let's find out which one it is, and then we'll click not a match on the other one.
Okay. Okay, so one says event place of Soton, which is probably true. Age 20 in 1920. That's got to be, yeah, that's about right?
Okay, look at the names of the parents.
Oh, he's a son, and the parents are...
Jonathan G. and Lena.
Lena, I don't know if that's the parents.
Scroll down, you can keep it open. Scroll down on the right side of your bar, and you can see the parents.
What do you mean the right side of my bar has parents? Just the background? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Lena and Jonathan. That's what it says, right?
They're the same.
Yep.
And if you were concerned at all, maybe they weren't the right parents, you could look at the birth location of who the parents have as their birth location, but it looks good to me. The father and the mother both have the same, and then you can check their birth date and make sure it's the right birth date. But it looks.
And they have 3 of the same kids. That's weird, though. Let's see if the other one. So I'll go click on the other one, and it says Wenatchee, Chelan.
Wrong location.
Instead of a Stoughton. Oops, which is closer. Oh.
So do you see how it lists the relationship as a lodger?
No, I lost that one.
Okay.
Here we go. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. All right, so yes.
So this is like a hotel or something.
Oh, okay, so this is just somebody this is Fred. Or actually, there's a ton of lodgers. It could be any of these people.
Exactly, right. So there's.
Oh, but he is listed as a lodger, so it is his record. He's listed as a lodger. It probably is his.
But it can only be in one place at one time.
Oh,
the other one can't be right if this one's right.
Yeah. Why would he live in Washington State when he actually is living in? Gotcha.
So
but the date's probably
on the bottom it says not a match.
So click that. Okay.
And then you would say something like 1920 census with wife and children already attached, because you're going to attach the other one.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that's how it worked. So it's obvious, but I'm like, what?
You're probably not going to be in both places at once. Okay. So then you can go through and let's go through that 1921 that is correct and see if I like looking at it in that source box because it shows you the dates of the birth dates and everything without having to do the math.
Yeah. And so then you should attach everybody because if you don't, it's going to pop up later as a hint.
Yeah, it will. Sometimes what I do to keep my file open of the person's individual file, I'll right-click on that box, the blue box that says, and I'll say open in a new window. So then I'll have the source in one window and then his individual file in another window, but it's depending on what you like and how you want to do it.
Okay. And what did you say? You said something when you were attaching the sources. Because I still, like when I attach it, I'm like, the names and the dates match. That's what I always say. The names and the dates match. What did you say if I lost
my... You would want to just say what it's proving. What is it proving? Names and dates of who? Because you're going to go back later and look at that and think names and dates match. Names and dates of who? What is it? It needs more specifics of what it's referring to.
So you say William's birth date matches 1920 census?
Sometimes I use the generic of husband and wife and parents, and then I'm not always having to type the names. I would say exact match of husband and wife names and birth dates. That would be more specific.
Even though the birthday, it says 1900 versus 1899?
Yes, well, you wouldn't say exact match, but I would say match because within 1 year, it's a match. Because on the census, they don't always say the exact birth date, but in your file, you have the exact birth date.
Right. So match of husband, wife, and parent. On 1920 census. Match of husband, wife, and parents' birth, or just match of them. It doesn't have to be their dates, right?
Well, it does match their birth date, so it matches their names, first of all. It matches their birth date, second of all, and it matches their children, 3 of the children, the youngest 3 children. So I would say match of husband or
husband,
you could even
parents' names, birthdays of 3 children.
Yeah, exactly.
1920 census. Okay. That's always confused me. Okay, and then just attach all these kids. So that
everyone.
Well, I attached one, and I think, oh, they're there. I'm like, they all disappeared. And then when it pops up with a kid, what do I change the reason of my attaching? Just change that too, because it's a kid. Just say the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. I would use the word parent because it applies to both the parents and the children. So I would say proof parents and 3 children.
So I probably didn't need to use husband and wife, proof parent, parent and children.
Mhm.
Proof parent.
So hopefully on this tree you'll be able to go far enough back where you can actually find some names that you'll feel comfortable taking to the temple. So according to the 110-year rule, that would be anything where they were born before 19.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure if I'm going to find anything, it's going to be on this side because mine's pretty much done.
Oh. Well, that's what everybody used to say on my family, too. Mm-hmm. My family, on both of my parents, my dad's and mom's side, they said, oh, everything's done, don't worry about it. And I started doing cousins' work, and I don't believe in that saying anymore. It's not true.
See, but I looked, before these hints, I looked for like a year, and I spent like an hour or 2 a week for a year, and I never found anything.
Wow. Yeah, these record hints are marvelous.
I attached a bunch of sources, but my thing says research suggestions, possible missing child.
Yeah, the computer's just looking at the dates, and it's saying that there's more than a 4-year space between one child to the next. So I don't pay much attention to that. If I'm looking at the source that has all the children listed, and if I find, maybe here's where I would pay attention to it. If on the 1900 census or the 1920 census, those censuses in certain locations list how many children the mother has had and how many children are living. If it says the mother has had 6 children and 4 are living, I would try to go find death records for any deceased children.
Okay.
But if it says she's had 6 children and 6 children are living, then I wouldn't pay any attention to it. I would be solid and sure that there aren't any missing children. And I think you can even dismiss those.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter, but probably.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So, yep, that's adding record hints. It's pretty fun. So it'll take you on all sorts of adding family. Like if you go back into, if you can find something that's in the 1800s, like these people are born in 1899. If you look at their parents, let's go into his tree on parents. Is there anyone else that wanted to try adding a record hint?
I do. This is Jenny.
Oh, yay. Did you have your tree open?
I do.
Okay.
So I have a question because we have we're stuck on my husband's line, and so do you want me to give you the number?
Yes.
Of the person. We're having a hard time finding a mother and a father of this Emma.
Okay. Let me pull this up. While that's pulling up, Natalie, I looked at the tree view on William James, and there are so many record hints on both of the parent sides. Did you see that?
I'm gonna have to.
Oh my goodness! Go into the tree view with William James, and there's record hints all over on both sides. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Holy cow.
I know.
We don't have any work to
do. Yeah, you're done. It's all done. It's amazing how many children get missed. they think that they have them all, and you find on a record that they really have 6 kids when there's only 2 listed or 1. Because sometimes people are only worried about the direct ancestors, but I like to focus on the cousins. If you feel like all of your family history work is done, then start focusing on the cousins, and you'll find so much.
Start focusing on my husband's side, which is this. Yay!
Yeah.
Look at this. This is like a party.
It's awesome. Okay, Jenny, I am pulling this up. It says Frances Sadie Thompson. Did I get the right number?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so it looks like there's 3 record hints in there. There's a marriage, there's a 1920 census, and a 1930 census. Which one did you want to do first?
So, like, I checked all of them. I want to know how to find her parents.
Her parents,
and on
okay,
none of these,
so
yeah.
did we look at the marriage record yet?
So the marriage record is of her her
Her daughter?
son.
Okay.
It would be her son, yeah. So my husband's grandpa.
Okay. Sometimes when I'm not finding the parents, what I'll do is I'll find all the sources that I can on the children, because on one of their marriage records, like on Carol's or Beverly's marriage record, maybe it'll say the parents, whereas on Frances's marriage record, maybe it doesn't say the parents. So I'll try to find all the sources that I can, and I'll fill up the tree as much as I can with everything.
Okay.
So I would start with what you have. Start with the record
Okay.
sources that you have. But let's also, if you scroll down below the record hints, do you have under search records, do you have a family search link? Or an ancestry link?
Ancestry link. So I'm on my notebook, and when it brings up, are you talking about the little box that opens with record hints?
You're already in your record hints. No, that's fine. Go ahead and do that first, and then we'll go back and search. Let's add a record.
Okay, so
Which one did
so
you
do
open up?
Frances Boston, the one at the top there.
The 1920? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's going to take a second to pull up.
So yeah, that one looks like it's because it has 2 of the children
Okay.
that I recognize.
Okay, so that's a good match. If it matches the parents' birthday
Yeah.
and the children's birthday, are there more children on there that you don't have on your tree?
There's one other brother, yeah.
Great. So we found a missing child. That's always fun.
Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. There's not any on this one. There's just one missing from this record, which I assume not born yet on this census, is what I meant.
Okay. Let me pull it
So
up.
I would just review it and attach it then?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it brings me to attach historical records to family tree.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's your the source page on the left side. You're seeing the source. On your right side, you're seeing the information that it has in your family tree. So I'm seeing on the residence, there's an add option of Langhorne, Pima, Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know on that one.
Well, that's what the source is saying. So what you do know for sure is on your file on the right side, you know she was born January 31st, 1876. You know she was born in Ohio. This record says she was born in 1877 in Ohio. So that's a good match there. Let's go down and look at the husband. In fact, do you see where it's green? The husband's record is green?
Yeah, I do.
That means that the record is already attached to his file. So in my mind, that's a 99.5% good match already.
Okay. So do I click add to the residence then?
Yep, I would do that. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it's just going to add a
And
little
then
note.
attach.
Yep,
I just click attach.
You could put a note in there about reason to attach. I would say matches or proves parents and 2 children. And then you won't have to change the explanation when it comes down to attaching it to the children.
Okay. Shoot, I think I just skipped past that because I
It's
just
okay.
clicked
You do it
attach.
next time. It's fine. The only
Okay.
thing it's going to
So
show
you do
is
it
when
before you attach.
Yeah. You'll put that note in there before you attach, but it's fine. No big deal.
Okay.
And then do it again on the 2 children.
Okay.
So it'll be attached to everyone's record. No, wait a minute. I'm seeing, okay, so on the record it shows Earl B. Boston. On your family tree it shows Beverly Earl Boston. And it's a male. So
That's
I
it is a male. So Beverly it's a male's name.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's English. So
okay, all right. So just a mental
Yeah.
note that the name is recorded differently on this record
yeah.
than
I
what
see
your
that.
family file. So if you
Okay.
find I would maybe change it if I found it on 2 or 3 different sources reversed. I might change it on my
Okay.
family file, but it's totally up to
Okay.
you.
So I know he did go by Beverly though,
Oh, he
with
did.
his real name. Yeah, he went by Beverly. So
Okay.
I don't know why they put Earl B.
Yeah, and sometimes the censuses, they'll record things like they'll get the spelling wrong, and sometimes the birthday's off by a couple years. And one of them, I was like, the parents' location on where they're born. Like this guy didn't know where his parents were born until he was 60 years old. And then all of a sudden,
Oh, wow.
he remembered where his parents were born. It was funny. I'm like, so maybe the wife has given the information, and maybe she doesn't know where her parents-in-law are born. You just kind
True,
of
that makes
imagine
sense.
why they would have wrong information, and the records aren't always 100% accurate. So just take it into effect of your other records and your other sources, and just note any discrepancies. Sometimes under the birth
Okay.
location, I'll put, this record said this year, this record said this year, there's a discrepancy. So I'll just note it. So when I'm looking for duplicates or looking for more sources, I will know that my file, the sources don't have agreement on what the date is or whatever.
Okay. So when I'm at reason to attach source, I see that I would put matches. What would I?
Parents,
How do I?
yeah, I would say proves parents and 2 children.
Okay. Does that attach the note to all of them, or is
It'll
Does
pop
that
up
just-
again on the next one. And then you'll
Okay.
have to retest it.
okay? Okay. So now I think I'm all attached. Do I just return to
Okay.
the family tree then?
Yep, on the top right side of that page, it'll show his name, and you can link back to his name.
So I click on I see on the left-hand side his name under the
Oh, yes,
census.
left. I'm sorry. You're correct.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure I'm new
Yeah.
record. Okay. So what is the benefit of attaching all of these sources? It's just to verify?
The purpose of why I do it is because I'm looking for names that are not currently in my tree. And I'm building a strong case. If I had to go to court and prove that these are correct, those sources are my evidence.
Okay.
So if anyone else in the family is wondering, well, why did you say that this cousin or this sibling belongs with these parents? Well, it's right here on the source. But without
Okay.
the source, like, I'm only
It's just somebody's
taking
word.
you for your word. Exactly. Your family history records, it's been passed down from generation to generation. Because we had a situation in our family, my 6th great-grandfather on my mother's side, my cousin somewhere, blah, 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 just got done writing a book, and he has evidence to prove from sources and from histories and all these things that show that the wife is actually this other person with the same name born in a different location. But the family history sources show that this wife was born in this B location. So I've had to go in and attach sources or to create a case. And what I ended up doing was I ended up saying there's two different Thomas Judds. There's a Thomas Judd A and a Thomas Judd B. Thomas Judd A is married to wife A, and Thomas Judd B is married to wife B, because they have such a strong belief about he's married to this wife. But the book proves that she's married to this wife. He actually ended up marrying his stepsister, which is, very strange, but it was, not so strange back then. But so that's why anyway, so those sources are your strong tree. They give your tree integrity, the strength, to prove that it's a good, strong, solid source. Okay, so I just went to the tree view just for fun of Frances Sadie Thompson. I'm seeing record hints on both children. And there's one orange temple on Carol Sherwood Boston, one of the children. That orange temple, I don't know if you know, but it means that it needs more information. So if we look and we click on that orange temple, it shows us that Sarah's work is not done and her boxes are dotted, which means there's not enough information in there for her work to be done. So going to the record hints on Carol's file.
Where do you see, when I click down under children, underneath Earl Sherwood and Frances Sadie, I see Carol Sherwood.
See you on the tree view?
Okay. Oh no. I think I'm on landscape, but I'm not sure how to.
No, I'm on landscape. You're not on the individual page, are you?
No, I'm on landscape under the tree.
On the landscape.
Like where you, yep. So underneath their marriage, and then they have the arrow coming down for their children. Is that what you're talking about?
Actually, you can move your tree over to the right side, and it should have the children listed on the left.
Who would I click on?
Click on Frances Sadie Thompson.
Okay.
And then click on tree.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then it'll pull up her tree. It'll show his parents and then their children.
Okay.
There's also an arrow by Carol's name, which shows that she was married to a different husband. So that kind of looks like a duplicate husband to me. The second husband, you see that?
Yeah, so Carol is a man. So Carol's a brother, actually. So he will.
There's no information on that Sherwood Boston spouse.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's a duplicate. Unless she was really married to a second husband with the same middle and last name, which isn't likely. So you'd probably want to go in his file when you're going in there. Just make a note to do record hints and to also look for duplicates.
Okay.
And whereas she needs her work done, that would probably be my focus of where I would want to work for a minute, to get her information in there, if possible. Hopefully from the record hints we could find something.
Okay.
Wow, there's a lot of record hints. There's his death record. There's a 1930 census, another death record. And death records, too, sometimes say parents' names. And then there's
it's not his parents, but it'd be his grandparents' records that I'm needing.
This is Carol's on Carol Sherwood Boston's file.
Okay.
So by adding all of the sources, like doing the record hints for the children, it might say, but you want the names of Frances's parents. The other idea I have is to go into Frances Sadie Thompson's individual file page, and then scrolling down on the right side under Search Records. I'm wondering what links you have right there, which accounts you have set up for on the partner site.
Okay, so one more time, where was I going on that one?
Go into Frances Sadie Thompson's individual file page.
Okay. Okay.
And then scroll down on the right underneath the record hints and tell me under Search Records what links you have under there.
Okay, so I'm in her family tree, and I just click on her name, and it brings up this little box with her name, basic information.
And
Okay,
it'll click on
person.
person, and that'll take you to her individual
Okay,
file.
perfect. And then I'm going to, what's
Just
next
scroll
on
down.
there? Okay,
Just scroll down underneath record hints and tell me what links are underneath the second box that says Search Records.
family search, ancestry, find my past, my heritage.
Okay, perfect. So you are signed up for those partner sites. Click on the link for Ancestry.
Okay,
And the benefit, and it's going to ask you, you're leaving this site, just say okay. The benefit of linking and searching this way is it's going to add in all of the information into the boxes without having to type it in.
ooh, that's awesome. So cool.
Yeah, I really like it. Okay, so it's pulling up sources that you might have attached already. What I like to do is on the left side, you can scroll down till you see Edit Search.
Okay,
I click on that
okay,
and then scroll down to the bottom. And there's a box.
So I clicked on it, and it just brings up first, gives me her information, place where your ancestor might have lived.
Yes, this is the information that it's searching for. On the very
Okay, so
bottom,
do I need-
right up above the search
Uh-huh.
box, there's a
Okay.
box that you can click. It says Family Trees.
I don't see that. I
All the way
see,
down. You see her information, her birth, her spouse, her child, keep going down. On the very bottom.
oh, I see. I just didn't have it opened up. Okay, to the very bottom. Okay.
And then click the Family Trees box.
Family trees. Okay.
Click Search again.
And then search. Okay.
So what I like to look for in here is, this is like asking a friend their opinion. So do you know anything about so-and-so? Do you know who their parents are? Oh, yeah, their parents are Tom and Joe, or, you know, and they can give you some random offhand information that might be true and it might not be true. So, but what I like about this is that you can look for sources in the person's tree. So the first thing I'm seeing is Frances Sadie Thompson. I'm seeing somebody has a tree. The tree's creator name is Schneer.
Okay.
I'm clicking on that, and that will take you to so-and-so's information of who they say that she is. They say that she has the 1920 and the 1930 census and the parents and the same 2 children. However, they don't have any parents listed for her. So that would be where I would find a clue of who her parents could possibly be. But there's nothing there.
Okay. It actually, on mine, because I'm not signed up, I guess, because it gives me the options to buy my trials or whatever, or get a
So you
trial.
can't go in.
No.
Okay. So I need to get you the email about signing up for Ancestry, the church, because they worked out that partners thing. You can sign up for free. And
Awesome.
all you have to do is click on the links in the email. So I will send that out.
Oh, that's so helpful. I had no idea that you could search. So I would just continue following down here and do the same thing, see if any of them match.
Yep. And also when I run into walls, there's a place where I have a wall that I'm like, I don't know how to search in Scotland. How do I find her parents? And I'm just trying to do indexing of records in that area and keep praying and waiting on the Lord. At some point, if I keep working on cousins, like, you know how when you're driving down the road and you see some stranger that you don't know and you pull over and you stop and you help them. One of my friends used to always say, well, if I stop and I help strangers, then that to me means that at some point, if my mother is stopped on the side of the road and she needs help, that somebody's going to stop and help her. So I kind of look at it like that. When we're doing cousins work, we're adding things that don't necessarily help us in the exact place where we want to find somebody. But I think if it's just adding to the tree, and kind of it'll make a circle back around to the place where we want to find our information.
Sure.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
I see that as a collaborative type of mindset. So hopefully just keep praying and waiting, and the records will open up, and you'll be able to find something. And maybe there's more, like if you're interested in sending away for her marriage record.
That was our next thing. We actually have the number for it. We actually got the number. I just haven't done it yet. So.
Yeah, so that might be the good next step. Hopefully there's something on there. So. We are almost out of time. Is there any last-minute questions that I can help anyone with?
I have one.
Okay.
I clicked the white-bullet one I think we were working on, and I found look at you need to wait. And I found a duplicate, and I wanted to merge it or whatever, but can you walk me through that?
Yep. Let me get to that page. If anybody needs to go, I know there was somebody said they had to be done right at 2:30, so thank you for joining us, and I hope that you had some benefit from today's call. But just know that as I truly believe that as we're doing this family history work, these angels are going to be with us to strengthen us, to help our families. I pray all the time that the angels will help teach my children, and that the atonement will make up the difference. As I put my heart and my time into doing family history, I believe there's truly the unseen hands that come on the other side of our life, and they help us with things that we're struggling with. So I really believe it's a remedy also for those things, that the addictions that we struggle with and the things that Satan's trying to throw at us. I truly believe that family history is one of the ways that we can protect our families against the powers of Satan. So anyway, if anybody has to go, then feel free to jump out. I'm going to walk Natalie through her merging record, which can be very tricky. So we're going to go through duplicate record here. Okay, tell me you are on William James Carrick. You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, I think it's just his wife. It says Irma Libano. Is that
okay? Let me go to her person. Okay, so I'm going to go down and then possible duplicates.
It looks pretty seamless, but I'm like, I don't want to do it.
Okay, so the first thing I see is those gray dots. Have you already clicked Review Merge?
Yeah, I'm already in there.
Okay, just go back in your mind. Remember, underneath her name, there was some circles. There's 5 circles. And there's all, right now what I'm seeing on my screen is those 5 circles are filled in with gray. That is an assessment from the computer about how likely the match is.
Which means it's like almost completely likely.
Exactly, right.
It's 5 is the Highest, yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
I'm like 99.9% sure it's a match. It just needs to be merged. And I don't think I want any of their information because I think the only thing difference is they don't have the death date and I have everything else. So
Okay, perfect.
I was pretty
So, the
sure.
first thing you'll want to be aware of is you can have one person as the home person and the person on the right side is their information and number is going to get deleted. Deleted sounds really scary, but when they click on, if anybody ever has that number and they click on deleted, it'll always take them to the new number if they click on that link. So let's go down. Her name is the same, her birth date's the same, death. So on the left side it shows the correct death date, on the right side it doesn't show anything.
Right.
So what I look for here is the spouse and the children, and the parents. Are there any discrepancies? Because once those records merge, if there is any discrepancies, they're going to look really hairy on the other side.
So it does list her husband, and his birth date is off by a year.
Okay,
and their marriage date's the same and everything else.
Exactly. So that marriage date and the name, the date of the birth being off by a year, I wouldn't worry about it at all. So go ahead and click add on his name. So when we're done, it's going to show that she has two husbands, but we'll fix that in just a second.
Okay.
Okay. And then it doesn't show on the right side that she has any parents or children. So that will be the only thing we'll need to fix after. Okay. So go ahead and click Finish Merge, and then it'll ask you a reason why you think it is, and you would just say something like exact match on birth date, same name for the husband, exact match on marriage date. So you want to know what pieces of evidence make you think it's the same person.
This might take a while, it does.
I know, it'll.
That's so funny.
And every once in a while, it'll tell you that it can't merge these two people. That's usually when it's an older file and there's so much background information that's getting merged. The church is still working on getting the old family search, well, what they call the new family search in the background files. They're getting those taken care of. So hopefully within the next year, those ones that we can't merge right now will be able to be fixed.
Okay, so she's done, and then do I need to go to her husband and click possible matches now?
Yes, yes.
And then you said I'm going to have to fix her parents or something too.
No, just her husband. There wasn't any duplicate parents.
Okay, found it. And it matches and review. So William. And do I want to click reject on all this stuff or just leave it? It doesn't matter because it's not going to take this on one side.
Is there anything that's different or has more information?
No.
Okay.
He does have his kid listed. They're both the exact same though. Oh, they're even the same numbers. That's funny.
The children are the same numbers. So right now on the children's file is showing he's, Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, because we put him as the second husband, and we did that. That's why there's a, well, but that wouldn't change their numbers, so obviously they didn't have, they didn't have kids, that's what it was. So I just push continue merge.
Yep.
Okay, and then I say, let's see what we say, exact.
Say same, exact match on
Exact
birth date, same spouse. And he also has the same parents.
Parents and children. Marriage date. Okay, that's done. I got an easy one, luckily.
Yeah, good one. I think Heavenly Father's merciful that way. He'll give you easy ones to start with.
Thank you. You don't make a huge mess. Okay, so that's it, right?
Yep, that's it. Yep, you found some duplicates in there, and have fun looking at those record hints and trying to find new people that are missing in your family tree.
So when they give you like a 1900 census and it says he's like 1 year old and he's a nephew, you would just assume that he really wouldn't be living there? I mean, what do you think about that one?
That's interesting. I would look at the death date of the parent. I'm thinking, why would he living with a sibling at 1 year old? That's pretty unusual.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that what one of the record hints say?
Yeah.
At 1900 census?
Yeah, it just lists him. I mean, he's from Washington, so maybe that's why it dinged it or something. And the birth date is the exact same. I mean, it's June 1899. So unless something happened and they were, I mean, I guess it's possible he went to live with his aunt and uncle when he was 1 for a little bit, and then, I don't know.
What year was that? 1900. There was a lot of world turmoil, stress going on. That's interesting. Just
really just leave it there and don't give it a hint.
Just make sure the name like matches who is on. Like if you go to Jonathan, whoever it is, the siblings, if it's his aunt and uncle, make sure the aunt and uncle match within the family tree.
Okay. So it says, let's see, the head is James Carrick. It doesn't say the wife though. That's weird too. So you just assume, if it has him listed as nephew, the head would be his uncle, right?
Right, exactly. So James Carrick. So I would go into Jonathan Carrick's file. I'm going into Jonathan Carrick's tree view to see if I can see James as his brother.
Okay, tree view, got it. And he is. James is his brother. That's interesting.
Okay, and make sure James's birth date matches what's in the file. It'll get kind of interesting when you're attaching the sources. You can attach it to him and then attaching it to other family members. It might tell you that it's wrong, but you know that it's right. So just keep going. Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah,
That's not what I expected to pop up. Okay.
Yep. Very interesting. Okay. Any other questions?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
We will try to figure out what to do for next month. Give me your feedback on the page.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Talk to you then. You're welcome. See ya.